This is Lagoon Radio.
A beautiful morning to you once again. Time check is 35 minutes gone past 9 West African time, and it's still the 22nd day in the month of March 2022. You're welcome to Lagoon Radio. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Twitter and on Instagram at Lagoonradio.Ng. Updates now is the newspaper review here on Lagoon Radio. We'll be taking a quick look at the newspapers that we have: Nigerian Pilot, This Day, News Direct, Al Jazeera, Nigerian Tribune, Blueprint, Leadership, Daily Trust, National Economy, New Telegraph, This Day, and the likes of all of the newspapers we have for you this morning. Meanwhile, my name is Olumakaiye. With me in the studio is to my side is Semidele Olabisi Oke. Why you want to take a moment to redress?
Yeah, let me just take a moment to redress before I greet everyone. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Good morning. How you all doing? It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, of course.
Yes,
I hope your day is going on. Peace.
In my front, I also have Adiola Shabiolegbe Taiwo.
Let me relax my back.
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning. How was your night?
It was okay. Consider the fact that there is heat, and at some point,
It's okay. How was the rain this morning?
Rain,
what part of Lagos?
It not reach you.
Not
No, it didn't reach my
Are you
side.
serious?
No,
You fell this morning, no?
Like, seriously?
it fell yesterday in my area in the
No, it
morning.
didn't fall yesterday. It was this morning.
Rain,
I was like, why is this rain not falling in the night?
God is just so wonderful. Good morning. How was your night too?
Very well.
Semidele, how are you? How are you? Fine or not?
I am fine. I am partially fine.
This is partially fine.
I understand.
I can relate to.
Relationship manager.
Okay, so we're starting with Nigerian Pilot this morning, and it says Obiano gets bail as traditional rulers kick over treatment. You can read more on page 5. Buhari summons governor, ministers, and advisor over poor power supply and others, still on page 9. And boldly written on the headline says 20 lawmakers sacked. Rider under that says as party postpones aspirant screening scheduled for 19th and 20th of March. Wait, what's today's date?
Today's date list 2022.
Okay, they said they postponed what they scheduled for 19th and 20th of March. Okay, Sheriff hints of proposed unity list being prepared by party hierarchy. All Mokara kicks insists stakeholders not carried along. Doubt if convention will hold on the 26th of March 2022, Saturday as scheduled. All of these can be found on page 8. Bandits kill 60 in Zamfara, Kaduna as El Rufai declares curfew on page 5. IPOB distances group from attack on Obiozo's residence. You can read up more on page 8. And moving on to page 5, Nigerian judiciary must rebuild confidence of the people. CIN says Governor Zulum rejects naming of schools projects after him. You can find these on page 7. OAU VC Ile-Ife residents reject appointment of non-indigens. All of these can be found on page 6. NAFDAC alert on banned site enhancement pills. You can read up on... it's a bit like my eyes are better. NAFDAC alert on banned in 3 words, no sex enhancement pills. You can read up on page 5 if you have interest. Lastly, CBN retains benchmark interest rates at 11.5% despite rising prices. All of this can be found on the front page of the Nigerian Pilot newspaper.
So basically, talking about the bans on sex enhancement pills, I think it's actually a good way to go, because I don't know, it doesn't make sense for you to start using a sex enhancement pill. And even if you're going to use some pills at all, it should be based on prescription, because if, for example, men with medical condition, low sperm count and all that. So I think personally I'm in support of this. Anyway.
I also feel like they are trying to ban because of young people, to avoid
abusing it and all that.
married.
Yeah. So then, if NAFDAC could ban sex enhancement pills, they should be able to ban sex enhancement apps as well.
Exactly.
Because all these alagbo people too.
Kaya mata.
Kaya and mata. All right. I'll be taking this Nigeria papers. 20 Cross River lawmakers sacked by court as Speaker feigns ignorance. That's on page 8 of this Nigeria papers. 2023 PDP South Zone demands presidential seat. It's a matter of equity, justice, and fairness. You can get that on page 5 of these Nigerian papers. And the major headline says, National Chairmanship position, APC senators divided over 3 colleagues. And the writers to that says, nothing will stop convention from holding, says Uzodima. And I think the issue of the APC convention has been on, and it's been, they've been postponing it from one date to the other and all that. And as at yesterday, we learnt that the date is not even certain.
For 26th.
So, but Uzodima says
because
nothing will stop it from
coming
holding.
in now, they are shaking or what? Because
no, I think basically there's no unity really in the house as it is. So
tables are shaking.
Yeah, tables are shaking and all that. So that it is what it is. All right, another writer to that says screening of aspirants commence 4 days to exercise. So that means the screening will start today. Today is 22nd, and the exercise, the screening, the convention is on the 26th. So we hope it's going to be a successful one. So you can get the full story on page 4 of these Nigeria papers. And page 5, Atiku Tinubu threats to Igbo presidency. Okay. That's on page 5 of these Nigeria papers. Obiano's viral video. EFCC cracks down on airing operative. And yesterday I think we read in the review as regards Obiano's
arrest.
No, not arrest. I think the follow up was on the Nigerian pilot that Koinsola took, that he gets bail. So
okay.
Yeah. So there's actually a viral video, and EFCC cracks down on area operatives. So that's on page 14. And lastly, on these Nigerian papers, on page 15, Nigeria's wheat importation gulped 1.29 trillion naira in 2021, says NBS. That'll be all for these Nigerian papers.
All right, moving on to the Nigerian News Direct. On the top of the paper, police parade 2 pastors over mysterious death of 20-year-old girl during Bible study. Okay, so that's on page 11. I'm sorry for the long pause.
Yeah, it's actually needed, because basically now, let's say no one is actually safe as it is. No one is safe. Nowhere is safe. So that's the way things are. So.
All right, Obiano granted bail after 5 days in EFCC detention. That's on page 2. NNPC denies reviewing depot price of petrol. Page 16 of the paper. And at the very front page, the main story there, party defection. INEC in Delima has court affirms Umahi's sack. And the writers to that says additional 20 assembly members removed in Cross River. APC denies membership of SAC lawmakers. Will enforce High Court judgment, says PDP. All of this you can read on page 3 of the Nigerian News Direct. Still on the paper, Buhari summons Uzodima, Power Minister and Chief Economic Advisor. That's it's quite tiny, but it's on the inside of the paper. Federal government has implemented 150 ease of doing business reform, says the minister. That's on page 2. And on page 3, OAU VC appointment. Protesters storms campus with charms fetish objects, says PRO. Also on page 3.
But I think this this issue of I think it's been a while now. I think maybe because of the orientation we have, that a non-indigenous shouldn't hold a particular position and all that. To me, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. As far as there will be progress, even if the person is not a native of that town, just allow him, give him chance.
I mean, academic and knowledge it doesn't know tribes. I mean, it's
So
not
you now
tribalistic.
storming the campus with charms and fetish objects because the appointed VC isn't an indigene. It doesn't actually make sense to me, really. We need
It's
to
not that
widen.
change anything.
One thing I feel about these schools in states, like not Lagos states, other state schools, they are so much indebted to their mentality that okay, if you're not, they carry that engineering thing seriously.
Yeah.
When you see scholarship opportunities, if you're not an engineering, well, it's not for you.
Yes, it's not for you.
So I really don't.
When you're talking about scholarship is still okay.
No,
but
all of these
No,
things,
no, no,
they
no.
carry that
I actually have an experience concerning that. Okay, let me just say briefly. There's this scholarship running, and where we live, that was where I was born. So basically, as at then, I've spent like over 20 years, and I applied for the scholarship, and I was told, your dad is not from this town, your mom is not from this town. I said, excuse me, I was born here. So I can claim to be an indigene of this
because
town.
I have my birth certificate
and-
of this place.
And even the constitution says if you spend minimum of 6 years in a place, you're free to claim.
Moreover, you were
being
born
indigenous
there,
of that place.
so
moreover, I
and
was
your
born
birth
here.
certificate
I've lived
carries
all of my
the-
life
By
here.
birth.
I've served this place, so I have every right. My dear, I was given the scholarship.
One
and that
thing
was
they
it.
don't even understand is
That's
whether
because
or
you know
not
your
the
rights.
person
Yeah.
exactly whether or not the person is an indigene or not, he or she may have good opportunities, good things to invest in
Exactly.
that community or
Yeah.
that state. So if you are judging by the person is not an indigene, you may just lose out.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing, but let's just be wise while doing some things.
Yeah.
There are some positions that you don't have to be biased when you're putting people on that.
on that state.
Sure.
So
You
them
have to pick the
storming
right.
with
Especially when it comes to academic, you have to do it right. The fact that Simi is an indigene of Ekiti, you are an indigene of Oshu,
Lagos.
and of course Simi is older than you, but because she's older than you, and of course in academic you are older than her, but because of age and indigenous
Problems.
rights and wahala, they give it to her.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't speak.
It doesn't
well.
speak well.
All of these things are traditional hierarchy. It's been there.
I
Even when
think
they
it's
want
that
to
it happens more in that Ife
That's
area.
what I'm saying. Even any state that is not within Lagos, I think it's just Lagos that we are
No,
free.
Lagos is just.
Yeah, Lagos is not free.
No, we are free.
No, Lagos is
Lagos is
still.
some
extent,
free.
sure.
still
You can't try it
better.
in any state. They will claim their state people first.
These people that come to Lagos and they tell you, like there's no Lagosian anywhere, that all of us are Lagosians. No, this
So we've
is
gone past all
this
these things.
is a state on its own. People come from this place. There are different places in Lagos State. There are different local government under this Lagos State. As your own Ekiti, that you have different bodies under Oshu and all that Ibadan, you know. So as Lagos is, because Lagos is accommodating, we are hospitable. We allow people to come and settle in, and now they are bragging. No, because some
mentality
economic
just
like
needs to change.
no.
It just needs to change because we are not going anywhere with all of those mentality. It just needs to change.
All right, so about the last federal government incurs 950 billion naira domestic borrowing in first quarter of 2022, says DMO. That's on page 3. And of course, we have a picture on the front page. You find out when you get the paper. That's all on the Nigerian News Direct.
So moving on to the Al Jazeera newspaper, Kyari's 17 subsidiaries to appear before reps over audit queries. You can read up more on page 9. As regards insecurity and power challenges, Buhari summons Uzodinma and Aliyu. You can read up on page 8. Please, now to ask a question. Why is this someone in? Why is this someone in them? Because it's not in the country, and you know your whole nation did not have light for like 2 weeks. Did not say, "Oh yeah, what's going on? Oh yeah, I want the lights."
You are going to support Russian-Ukraine war.
I'm gonna do peace talk.
Peace
where.
talker.
Anyways, fire God's popular Azomta Catholic Cathedral in Imo State on page 23, and on page 26, APC Governors Rescue Party ahead convention. And we have on page 25, Obiano gets bail as EFCC disciplines officer behind video leak. On page 12, court strikes out Umayi's motion to stop removal. And on page 8, bandits kill village head, 19 others in Zamfara state. Lastly, okay, I still have one more. Cardinal government declares curfew in 2 local government areas as bandits kill 15. And as regards defection, court sacks 20 Cross River lawmakers. You can also see the picture of Ben Ayade on the paper. You can read up more on page 29. And that is pretty much about... Okay, that's all about it. That's all about the Al Jazeera newspaper.
Okay, I'll be taking the Nigerian Tribune. CBN retains MPR at 11.5%, says Russia-Ukraine war poses risks to global economy. So that's on page 6, and basically I think that's the way it's been. And I said yesterday that according to reports, by half of this, when we get to the half of the year, according to study or according to research, that things will be more expensive by basically 100%. So whatever you're buying now at 2,000 naira, you're going to be getting it at 4,000 naira thereabout, especially food. So
like the double of the initial price.
Yeah, and then this Russia-Ukraine war, it's not only Nigeria that is lamenting. Just I think after the whole Russia-Ukraine war started, we had a national grid collapse. Then there was issue of like 11 trillion naira that power fund that couldn't be traced and all that. So I think our case is actually peculiar in our country. So that's bandits killed 23, burned 70 houses in 2 Kaduna local governments. And like Councillor read in Al Jazeera, basically there's curfew. The government has actually declared a curfew in those 2 local government areas. So it's a 24-hour curfew, and police confirmed killing of 16 in Zamfara. And Khan says this is one killing too many. And obviously it is. So defection as court sacks 20 Cross River lawmakers, and the speaker, who feigned ignorance, said we are not aware of judgment sacking us. So court strikes out Umayi's motion to stop execution of judgment. And PDP tells INEC to issue certificate of return to Igariwe and Udogo now. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune. We've taken the OAU VC appointment as Ife Indiges go fetish as the protest to unblock major roads. Then Anambra rulers decry Obiano's ill treatment in EFCC custody. That's on page 11. And on page 23, plane carrying 132 passengers crashes in China. I actually saw that yesterday, I think later yesterday, about the plane conveying passengers that crashed. So it's not a good news at all. Plane crashes are not, they are basically no good news. Like, I don't like it. So that this on APC convention, a protest over consensus candidate for national secretary, and Senate caucus says no position taken on chairmanship, as Nasarawa governor also says that governors have resolved their differences. A screening of aspirants commences today. You can get all the details on page 26 and page 27 of the Nigerian Tribune. That'll be all for Nigerian Tribune.
All right, moving on to the Blueprint newspaper. Defection, like Ebonyi court sacks 20 Cross River lawmakers. And the writer to that says, we are replacing lawmakers immediately, says PDP. Urges INEC to issue Igariwe Udogu certificate of return. All of this you can read on page 5 of the paper. It's on the front page as well. You can continue reading. Umayi's motion to stop removal struck out. Yes, that's on page 6. And the major story there says, amid renewed Imo seat at home order, Buhari says, here is what he says. It's time to review security situation in Southeast. And I don't hear. And the writer to that says, expresses worry over frequent power outages. Attack on Obiazo's house daring obnoxious, says Atiku. El Rufai imposes curfew on 2 Kaduna local governments. Summons Uzodinma Power Minister, Terrorist Kills and Farah Monarch, and 19 others. All of these you can get on page 6. After 4 days in EFCC custody, ex-governor Obiano granted bail on page 7. CSOs back. NICOMSAT urge patronage for revenue generation. That's on page 7. Judgment evasion. Court issues warrant of arrest on Zeribe. That's on page 13. Nigeria wheat import rises to 1.29 trillion naira in 2021. Page 6. Convention. APC begins screening of aspirants today. Page 22. Buhari to commission near Lagos Airport Terminal today. And also on page 22. Why CBN may leave interest rates and others unchanged, says expert. Also on page 22. CIBN/NIBSS to hold e-payment certification examination. That's on page 22. Yeah, I said that before. And on the front page, you have the pictures of big people there. So under the paper, so you get to
big people.
You get to read it after when you get the paper. Yeah, that'll be one of the paper newspaper.
So very quickly, because of our time, I'll be rushing through National Economic newspaper, and it says on page 4, mining contributes less than 1% to GDP in 5 years. The rider under that says stakeholders condemns slow growth and 6 approved financial investments to sector. Banks cut operating hours on rising diesel costs. You can read up more on page 4. This is serious. And CBN retains interest rates at 11.5% on page 5. Lagos government insurers move to enforce compulsory insurance on building. You can read up on page 4. And the leader to watch is Akim Bakare, a business development expert at Powter Morgan Holdings. You can read up about him and learn one or two things. Because of our time, this is how far we can go. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook is at Lagoon Radio Nigeria. On Twitter and on Instagram is at Lagoonradio.Ng. Up next is
Up next is the Landhouse on Radio show by Ariola Olumakaiye.
Yes, don't forget to follow every show that we have for you today. Stay updated, stay connected, stay with us, and don't go nowhere. Till we meet again same time tomorrow from the hours of 9:30 to 10 a.m. West African time here on Lagoon Radio. And for me to you, it's a bye and good morning. What do you have for your followers?
Good morning. Have a lovely day. Keep listening to Lagoon Radio.
Morning and have a nice day.
Bye from us.
This is Lagoon Radio.